Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your host here, Shane Gilfeather, and you've joined us for round 4 of the V8 Championship for 2023. In the commentary box with me, I've got Tim Lawson again. Great reviews from the last round, and we're excited to have him back. How are you, Tim?
Oh, fantastic, Shane. Very excited to be here for my first broadcasting event. This is round 4 for the 2023 V8 League for you guys, but round 1 for me.
Yeah, well, this is the first V8 round for you, but all the commentary and all the feedback from the British Touring Car, very excited to have you on board and here for the V8 league as well. So thank you again for joining us in the commentary box.
No worries. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Now we're in qualify session now, so we'll just get through a couple of the standard information for you to set up the evening's racing for you. Tonight the guys have got the choice of 3 tyre compounds. I really don't think we'll see the wets here tonight. So just look for the white band and the yellow band representing the soft and the hard tyre. Opposite to the Formula 1, if you're used to the Formula 1 colour banding. So it makes it very confusing for me certainly, but hopefully not for you at home. Current standings as it is after round 3, it's Craig Broadbent. He's been too strong, 2 for 2, and he's up the front, and behind him James Delaney, who isn't with us tonight, so he'll probably drop back down, and Vlad will make his way back up into P2, providing he has a good night. Eric Chandra moved up about 9 spots into P4 after last round. Very good round from him. He took home second prize and $30. And Scott Flack stayed at P5. Ludwig Askinas did very well and moved up the ladder in P6. Matthew Collins had a dreadful last race. He was doing so well, and then the internet cut out on him, so we hope it holds for tonight as he dropped to P7. So too James Spotto dropping down in P8. David Baker moved up a couple of spots in a 9, and Frederick Sarkis on his opening race has already moved up into the top 10. Alright, so we are in the qualifier session, Tim, and the guys have been showing some really good pace so far.
Yeah, so I've had a quick look at the timing screen. So I can see Vlad at the moment looks like he is getting very close to making that top speed down the back straight between turn 4 and 6. But at the moment it looks like Scott Flack has the crown for that, 271.4 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, top speed. The guys have got it's a tricky circuit because you really want to top out the 6th gear, but I think most of the work's going to be done coming out of that hairpin. A lot of the guys are, and that means changing the gear ratio, making it a bit of a shorter ratio to get out of that hairpin nice and quick. And yeah.
There will be a bit of a challenge coming through turn 1, that lump in the road. Making sure that you get on the brake at the right time to load the front of the car up so it absorbs that impact of that bump as you ride up over through turn 1, getting the car to settle down into turns 2 and 3 to get a good drive down into the hairpin for turn 4. That's going to be the key here.
And as always, it's more important to get a better exit than an entry into the corner. Turn 1, lap 1, I'm just going to shut my eyes and hope for the best for these boys, but because it really bottlenecks. It's a short run in there, so they won't really pick up too much speed and get into too much trouble. They should just really make sure they get a good launch, keep the car straight, and all get through the first turn for the first lap at least.
Yes, to win it, you've got to be actually able to get the car across the line. No point in throwing it away on lap 1. It's a 25-lap race this evening for race 1. Before we go into the second race.
Yeah,
the guys will want to try and keep that car clean.
Yeah, it's very important to just bag the points. We've reduced it to 2 races this year and made them longer. It means less grid starts, So it's very important to get a good start each race. And the second race will be the reverse of the race 1 result. So no longer reversing your quali. So if you have a bad one, we'll reverse the grid, so you still have a chance to redeem yourself for race 2 for the feature. Tonight might be 45 laps or 50. We'll see how we go for time.
And the second race is at Symmons Plains, down in Tasmania. For anyone that's not familiar with it, it is a very short technical track, 2.41 kilometres or 1.5 mile in the old scale. There are 7 corners and each one of them has its own technicality, but the talking points will be the big hump on the road coming into turn 1 and the ability to get on the brakes and hang it around Bramble's hairpin turn 4 and get the power back down through the back straights through turn 5 and 6.
We almost saw James Sarkis rolling it, which is going to be an easy thing to do. We could see that happen tonight. That inside ripple or sausage, as you will definitely get these cars light on the inside, and providing the boys behave themselves, we should see every car get through there cleanly, fingers crossed.
And Shane, when you're free, mate, can you share your screen, please? So just looking at qualifying at the moment, the cars are on track. Craig Broadbent is topping at the moment in the Race Textile Commodore, I believe that is. Vlad in the red racing, and then Scott Flack rounds out our top 3 at the moment on the timing board. But there is quite a tight cluster for 4, 5 and 6, so there is plenty of time. I think our time is clocking down. We've got about 1 minute left of qualifying, if my time clock is correct.
Yep, 50 seconds to go, and all they have to do is cross the line before that timer runs out, and the whole lap will be counted. So that'll signify the last attempt. Once the time goes down, you won't be able to cross the line after that point to start your hot lap.
So riding on the board at the moment with Vlad Torikev in the 23 red Milwaukee Falcon, or Mustang, I should say.
Yep, Vlad Tokarev racing with us from Russia. We've got a few internationals here tonight. We've got Vlad up in P2. We've got one of our new guys, Frederick Sarkis, up in a P4. Second race with us after a great showing at Perth is up in P4 at the moment. Another one of our newbies is Pedro Gomez. It escapes where he's from.
Let's see with Pedro at the moment in the Boost Commodore.
That's the actual.
Yep, that's the Mustang.
Yep. There's one of each, to be honest, in the 2020. There's Boost sponsored a couple of different cars. This one's from the Tickford Racing house. Ludovic Eskinas, the Latvian, he's up in P7. Eric Chandler right behind him is P8. And in the grass, so he's not going to advance anymore. And I'm looking for the other internationals. That's pretty much it. About 4. We'll get to the bottom of where Pedro's from as we welcome him from overseas. Alright, Tim, so quali's over. We'll show the results coming up in just a second.
So just waiting for the timing board to catch up, but we can say that Craig Broadbent had in the Race Tech Commodore, I believe the Race Tech vehicle is, that was topped the timetables with a 48.956. Vlad Torikev came in second with a 49.130, and Scott Flack rounds out our top 3 with a 49.3. But it is a very tight cluster with the next four cars, all of 49.4s. So our front row will be Craig Broadbent and Vlad Torikev. Row 2 will be Scott Flack and Frederick Sarkis. Row 3, Matt Collins and Pedro Gomez. Row 4, Ludwig Askanis and Eric Chandra. Row 5 is David Barker and James Sarkis. Row 6 is James Spotto and Bradley Martin. Row 7 is Gordon Lee and Jeff Wynn. And Troy Czeslowski will round out our back of the pack.
Okay, so we'll make sure the boys are ready to go for the race, and then we'll get straight into race 1, 25 laps. Okay, welcome back. We're live now. The guys are greeting up, ready to go for race 1. 25 laps this is going to be. And your commentators, Shane Gilfeather, Tim Lawson, right in the commentary box.
Very excited for this one, Shane. This is the MJ Build Construction Company V8 Series, sponsored tonight for the top 3 competitors. Will all take home prize money out of $100 this evening. The guys are all going through their setups. Now, this is a fixed setup, you're saying, Shane, and they've got limited controls in their car. They have the option to change their brake bias, and they will have the mandatory roll bar for front and rear, and that is pretty well limited to it. There is no fuel burn, so they can drop the fuel down to whatever they feel comfortable running the car with, which will give them a little bonus. 6-speed gearbox, and they will be using all 6 gears.
Well, it looks like Craig Broadbank had a real strange one there. I'm not too sure what's happening with his car, but he's pointing the wrong way.
The guys look like one guy sped off through the back there, but the guys are reasonably clean coming through turns 2, 3, and down to the run into the hairpin at 4.
There's James Spotto at the back there, but Matt Collins moving up a few spots there in a P3 right behind Scott Black and Vlad Tokarev. He's got the jump as we saw Craig Broadbent really struggling. We hope he's got the car sorted. The wheels were facing like 180 degrees the wrong way, but he's back on P5 and he's got Frederick Sarkis right in front of him. Brad Jones, Holden, ZB.
And we've just witnessed our first lap around Symmons Plains, and there is that bump in the road I was talking about earlier. The guys need to make sure they get the cars loaded into that, as they had come very close there. Going to be too wide at the back of the pack there. There's very gain coming through there. The guys hard on the brakes now, trying to find their braking marker into the hairpin. It is a good chance if you can take advantage to get down the inside. As we can see, most of the guys are getting the power down, out, and a fantastic move there up the inside.
Petro getting up the inside of David Baker as they head down the back straight now. Petro moving up in the P. Matt Collins and Frederick. Scott Black, Matt Collins, and we've got the pair, Frederick Sarkis and Craig Broadbent. So a couple of duels going on as Vlad's starting to stretch the lead out now to 1.5 seconds. Posting that fastest lap of the race at 49.63.
Matt Collins and Fred joins in a battle here, and it's going to be a battle that will take us for a while by the looks of it. They're very well contended here. Looks like Fred just may be happy to sit at the back just to weigh this up a little bit. He's not making too much of a challenge here. Or as we see the number 51 Mellow yellow car get loose on the rear and turn itself around, he's going to have to wait for the pack to pass through here. He cleanly re-enters, but that will drop him down.
Just watching a replay at the moment, seeing what happened to Scott Flack. Looked like it went wide and locked up on entry, got all sorts of lost. And as he's trying to regain, Matt Collins just flipping the back and around he goes. Scott Flack relegating back down into P8 at the moment. As we go back live now up the front, Matt Collins trying to close that gap, and it's opened up to 2.3 seconds now. A long way to catch up. Frederick Sarkis up into P3. Still trying to shake Craig Corbin off his back, but the current defending champion, is all over the back of Frederick Sarkis at the moment.
And we can also see Ludwig sitting on the back of this pack too, so they won't want to make too many errors. We can see one car up on the grass at the back there. I haven't quite worked out who that is yet. My timing hasn't shown that, but someone missed the apex on the corner and parked up on the inside of the hairpin. As we rejoin now, watching the guys come down into turn 6.
We're watching Eric Chandra from Indonesia chasing David Baker as they cross the line for the 5th time already. You can see it's a very short circuit here. As Tim's mentioned before, only 7 corners, but everyone's really struggling with every corner there. So usually you've got time to relax and stretch out and you know, get settled into the car, but there's no place to really relax here. Askinas is closing that gap on the back of Corbin at the moment, doing a fantastic job in the Red Bull car. The field's starting to spread out now. I can see a couple together at the back. It looks like Black and Gordon Lee. Back down into P11, really struggling to get momentum back after that incident with Matt Collins at the start of the race there.
I see most cars running with the white wall tyre, which would be the soft tyre, I think you mentioned at the start of the race.
Yeah. So if we bring up that telemetry, we can show you guys at home, pretty much everyone's on the soft, except for Gordon Lee and Jeff Wynn, racing from here in Entertainment Park.
Looking at some of the split times, there is not much separating these guys at the moment. Most guys running in a very high 49 or a very low 50. And the times are very consistent right across the field. As we see a very loose mobile guy that, luckily, just a little love tap there to straighten him back up again. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Maybe a little bit sideways for quite some time, the lock up, and you've just got to be patient and hold on and really hope that the other drivers are just going to drive past you. Little tap, straighten him up, and they settle back into P4. So he's lost one position out of all that, but he's got 3 cars right behind him. See a long dive bomb there. That's on board with Ludwig Askinas, P5.
And then we can see behind Ludwig there, we've got David and Eric in a battle. And the guys, it just looks like they're just weighing up each other's messages. We could see that the early contact, that's a loose moment and a big impact with the wall. That's not what Ludwig would have wanted there.
No,
that one's going to take some pain.
We'll go back to the replay a couple of turns before. He looked like he shortcutted across the grass there. Hit the ripple, which unsettled him, and the cars coming around just unfortunately collected back, and unfortunately he got collected there and sent straight into the wall. We're back live now on lap 8. David Baker defending against Eric Chandra, and we're lapping Troy Cieslawski in the Ned Whiskey car.
We're doing the polite thing there and just moving out of the way, letting these guys battle each other. As we can see, the balancing act these guys will be doing with the pedals at the moment, it's very easy to lock up the tyres on a V8 Supercar. And as we mentioned earlier, this track is very technical. We can see that lump in the track there. Need to get the car loaded up before you get into it, and then fight with the car through turns 2 and 3. That little rundown now, and then lining up your brake marker coming into the hairpin at turn 4. It's very easy to overshoot the mark here. Both these drivers doing very well. You can see how far the track actually drops away and the car dips down into there, gets a bit of bite, but it's very easy to get loose on the rear end. Love this track for its technicality, but I'm so frustrated by the ability to be able to keep the car on the tarmac.
Yeah, not an easy thing to do. Relatively tight circuit as far as width goes, and especially your last 2 corners really tighten up. As we can see, David Baker on board, racing on one of our SimWorks simulators, the B2 motion, chasing down P4, and that's Frederick Sarkis he's got his eyes on. Go back live.
Good. Eric Chandra is just licking his lips at the back here. He's looking at these two battle ahead of him, and he's going, if they make any error, I am going to pounce.
Oh,
and we see that's a big punch into the wall.
Yeah, Baker went for it on the inside, but he couldn't turn it enough. I think Frederick just touched him and enough for Baker to straighten up a bit, and unfortunately there wasn't enough track left for him to get the front end turned enough, and he got wedged on that wall. James Sarkis copping a penalty there, not too sure what that's for. Could be track limits. I'll see where he is on the circuit.
It hasn't come up in my timing yet.
It could be a pit infringement or not yielding to a lap car. There it goes.
He's got a status of -1.
Yeah, so he's down a lap with Troy Cieslewski.
Yeah.
Back up front, Vlad Tokarev dominating so far, uninterrupted, 4.5 seconds, but Matt Collins has got Craig Broadbent breathing down his neck now, the gap down to 0.8.
And also Eric Chandra sitting straight on the back of Fred Sarkis, making life very difficult for him. And also James Spudo is sitting on the back of David Barker. So there are some great battles going on around this track as we see the Mobile Commodore again have trouble.
Yeah, that's Frederick Sarkis again. We saw him locking up before. He's not slowing down enough and changing gears probably too late, getting a bit of compression lockup. And that's caused his second incident. Or someone going on the motorbike track there. One of the lap drivers, Matt Collins. Oh, he lost the position, but he's got it back on the inside. Now he's going to try and close out these two side by side.
A little push me, shove you as we head down the back straight. It is flat out through here in top gear. The guys will be getting very close to redlining right now. And it's going to be who has the game here to get it in. The guys are battling very well out on the grass. That is not where you want to be. And rightfully so, Matt takes the lead through there, and Craig just has to sit back into third place and think about having another attack at it.
Yeah, he'll just bide his time now. He knows he's got to make the move and make it clean and get away, get a good car length ahead. And I think that it'll be into the hairpin. Matt's quite a strong defender, and he defended well there. We've got a three-way battle back through the field. Pedro Gomez, Frederick Sarkis, and looks like Big Esquinas, who's dropped back into P9 early in the race, was doing well up front. Chanchik up ahead of Baker in P4 and 5. There we go.
Kicks it inside and gets the job done.
Yeah, that's on a lap car as well, so that's not the position. Got the two behind after the position. I think that's Jeff Wynn. Right behind Petro. It looks like he's going to lock up and spin out. Yeah, common problem. They brake too late, can't come down the gears safely enough or easy enough, and it just snaps wide. Probably need to adjust their brake bias as well.
Yes, for anyone who hasn't driven the V8 Supercars, the compression lock is a killer in these. You do have to wash that speed off and get your revs down. You do have to blip your gears. And any small mistake will have you basically a drift car, turning it sideways, and zero traction on the rear end.
Such a heavy car too, 1.5 tons. at, you know, what speeds are we clocking down the back there, Tim?
271 kilometres an hour most cars are peaking at.
Yeah, so it's not the fastest that the guys go, and Scott Flack on the infield as we just go past, but definitely fast enough for Tasmania. It's a very short circuit. I think it's only 1.5 kilometres.
A quick calculation, that is around about 180 mile an hour for anyone in the old school. As we watch the battle continue on here, a little bit squirrely under brakes. Managed to get through without too much error. And the key is trying to get the power down and traction coming out of the hairpin. There is good 3 to 4 tenths difference between a good exit and a bad exit through there.
I'm starting to see getting a bit slower coming out of the hairpin. We've got 10 laps to go, but I'm looking at the telemetry for David Baker, and I feel like he really needs to hit, really wearing that outside down, which is not what you want to be doing at this circuit. He's got a couple bars left of tread. I don't know if he's going to stretch the 9 laps on those tyres. So maybe look for a pit stop from him towards the end of the race, or creeping back through the field as he tries to defend P5.
Yes, there wouldn't be much of a game plan, or a bit of a battle going on here, as we see Craig Broadbent get into trouble here with Matt Collins.
We'll just watch the replay as Broadbent's got about 3-4 car lengths out in front. Collins. Sure. Right. So Collins has just tapped him on exit, so just going to do a bit of scrutineering or commissarying, if you will. And Collins has given that place back to Broadbent, so avoiding any further incident.
Yes, very late on the brakes in there, couldn't pull it up in time and did drift out into the back of Craig Broadbent, so great sportsmanship to give the position back and rectify that before the end of the next lap. As we can see now, they're sitting up with, as I've just lost
Eric
my
Chandra
telemetry.
in the middle now, so Eric Chandra's moved up into P3, splitting the 3, so this 3 towards the end of the race, we've got 7 laps. This will be where most of the action will be. There is still the Sarkis, Naskinas and Gomez trio as well. Back in 6, 7 and 8. Chandra trying all sorts. It looks like he's taking it easy at the opening stanza of the race, but now he means business. Trying to take Broadbent, I think P2.
Chandra may have been playing this wisely. He saved his tyres early on in the race. He's now got the trick and the gription coming home at the back end of this race, where you actually want it. No point in running out of tyres halfway through.
Now I'm watching Baker really struggling there in P5, but he's got a few seconds to play with, depending if it's P6, almost 4 seconds back. Only Martin back there, just letting the leaders through as they come to lap.
Baker has made a slight mistake there, because Pedro has actually closed up that margin a little bit. We're still expecting another 6 or 7 laps in this race yet, so there's still time for some of the guys at the back who are struggling with the pace at the moment, because Pedro is now within 1 second of David. But we're still sitting with this race now battling for second position.
Yeah, P2, and it's a 3-way battle. Matt Collins trying to get on the back of this lot. Not too sure how he spent his tyre account there, so maybe he's run out of coins on his soft tyres there. But Chandra also on the softs, as we saw in the yeah, actually the Gordon Lee and Jeff Wynn couple in the Penrite outfit are moving up the field as well, so they're doing quite well as these 3 press up now.
Moving past the back marker there. Guys will make it through clearly.
Yeah, nice work from Gordon Lee, letting the guys through there. You want to let him through, but you don't want to lose too much of your own race there, as he's defending top 10 finish at the moment.
And I'm just looking at the attitude of these cars at the moment, and I'm thinking Eric Chandra has certainly got the better traction coming out of the corners. His car seems to be a lot more settled at the moment. Am I seeing a different colour on the side wall of that tyre?
No, they're all soft tyres at the moment. There's only 2 drivers out there on the hards.
We can see the car very settled under brakes. I'm thinking Chandra's done a fantastic job at the start of this race, saving his tyres, and he's having a big push on the back here. And I expect in the next couple of laps that we see that he's going to try and make the move on Craig Broadbent.
Chandra and Broadbent together. Collins around the outside. There he goes. He's just picked up 2 spots right around the outside. We'll see if we can see what happened there.
Well, I think we saw the same that Craig Broadbent did earlier. He got late on the brakes and he's just came into the back of Eric Chandra there, and rightfully so backed out of it. But
it's cost him a couple of spots as they've let Collins through. And we go back live. It's still Collins, Broadbent and Chandra in that order, and not too sure if you tuned in with us at Perth, but there was looks like the exact same thing that happened on the turn 1 between Chandra and Broadbent in the opposite direction. Chandra,
well, that is a moment of tears.
well, we'd have to look at that review. Collins, not too sure what happened there actually. Back live with that one as go on replay.
Hard to say whether he's moved over.
He's moved over under braking and sent Broadbent straight into the kitty litter. Oh, and that's a dead end of the track too. So we'll go back live. We'll have to review that after the race, I think.
I'm thinking Chandra's got the tyre life here over Matt Collins. As we can see, the power down out of the hairpin. And that puts Chandra up the inside, and I think he is far enough up the inside here to get the braking into turn 6 and should easily make the pass through here. Moves up into second place.
Collins trying to come back up on the inside. I don't think he's got the traction that Chandra does as he pulls a little bit away. Hopefully Collins brakes early enough not to push the back of Chandra now. And Chandra gets through cleanly.
Definitely a story of tyre life and this end of the race, looking at the attitude of these cars. Chandra now 9.3 seconds behind Vlad, who has commanded this race from start to finish and is cleanly out in clean space. Doesn't have to worry about tyre life.
Someone's off in the kid litter right behind. It looked like, oh, it was Chandra. Struggling back in.
He was in 4th position, but he's now dropping down to 5th.
What's going on here, Tim? Like positions are changing on the last lap. Vlad on the last lap at the moment, but the battle's up in here for P3. David Baker's got absolutely no tyre wear left on that car at all. He's got 1 lap to go. He's got to nurse that with 2 tyres hot on his heel. Oh, just nice job through there. Vlad's coming down the back straight for the last time. Go back up to the front. That'll be P3. Chandra
gonna have to keep it on the inside here. Locks the brakes up. That's not what he wanted to do.
Oh, rolled it. Baker's gone and Chandra straight through. What a comedy of errors that is on the last lap.
You don't write that script at all.
No,
so we have seen Vlad over the finish line now, but we see Matt Collins hanging on to second place here. Eric Chandra will come home in 3rd as Matt Collins crosses the finish line. Eric coming around now to cross line in 3rd. David Baker has managed to hold on to come home in 4th position with Pedro
That's David
Gomez
Baker in Entertainment Park. Really happy with that one. And Craig Broadbent won't be happy with that one for sure. Frederick Sarkis coming across with P8. James Spotto already in the pits. Gordon Lee coming across to collect P10. His teammate Jeff Wynn in P11. James Sarkis bringing home the BJR car. P12 ahead of Bradley Martin. Scott Flack having a shocker after doing the start of the race very well there and slipping back throughout the race there. Alright, so
Very exciting finish to the race.
yeah, there was so much going on. We'll recap the results for you at home.
So we can see that Vlad had a commanding race leading from start to finish. So Vlad Tokarev taking out the crown for race 1. Matt Collins coming home in the MJ bUILD car for second position. Third of the podium was Eric Chandra. Fourth, David Baker. Fifth was Pedro Gomez. Sixth was Ludwig Askanis. 7, Craig Broadbent. 7, Frederick Sarkis. Oh, I've dropped the position there.
9 is 6-7 Broadbent. 8 is Sarkis. James Spotto in 9. Gordon Lee in the top 10 for Penrite. His teammate Jeff Wynn in P11. James Sarkis, his first race with us tonight, finishing in P12 ahead of Bradley Martin for Martin Racing. Scott Flack and Troy Cieslowski rounding out the top 15. Well, what an exciting race. We're going to be doubling that for race 2. So strap yourselves in. We'll get the boys ready and we'll be right back after these commercials.
Entertainment Park has so much to it.
And we are proud to announce that we have joined forces with this incredible place. They've got simulation cars.
You can choose your own car like a Formula One.
Or V8 Supercars, and you can choose your own track. I love the mountain. I'm king of the mountain. Not Mount Jewett, Mount Panorama.
Plus, there's an incredible go-kart track. No fumes, no smell.
And it's got a booster button too!
These booster buttons, unlike a video game, they're real. I'll catch you. Beat your fastest lap. Challenge your friends.
Have a feed at the cafe with an unbelievable menu. What? Dessert, coffee, and of course, a fully licensed bar.
10-pin bowling, video games, skills testers, laughs, play area, chill out areas and lounges, DJs and fun music.
It's safe, friendly, and plenty of parking. But some people drive to the city for that.
That's stupid.
Book now at entertainmentpark.com.au. Not just for kids.
Entertainment Park has so much to it.
And we are proud to announce that we have joined forces with this incredible place. They've got simulation cars
You can choose your own car like a Formula One.
or V8 Supercars, and you can choose your own track. I love the mountain. I'm king of the mountain. Not Mount Jewett, Mount Panorama.
Plus, there's an incredible go-kart track. No fumes, no smell.
And it's got a booster button too.
These booster buttons, unlike a video game, they're real. I'll catch you. Beat your fastest lap. Challenge your friends.
Have a feed at the cafe with an unbelievable menu. What? Dessert, coffee, and of course, a fully licensed bar.
10-pin bowling, video games, skills testers, laughs, play area, chill out areas and lounges, DJs and fun music.
It's safe, friendly, and plenty of parking. But some people drive to the city for that.
That's stupid.
Book now at entertainmentpark.com.au. Not just for kids.
Okay, welcome back. We've got race 2, 50 laps. And this is the grid. Scott Flack up the back with James Sarkis, Bradley Martin, Jeff Wynn and Gordon Lee. James Spotto, your third row of the grid. Tim.
And then we've got Ludwig Ascanis and Frederick Sarkis, Pedro Gomez, David Barker, Craig Broadbent, Eric Chandra, Matt Collins, Vlad Turkev, and Troy Chislowski rounding out our top 15. And don't be too afraid by the slight glitch we have at the moment. That will reset itself, no worries at all. You're watching the SimHaus 2023 V8 League, sponsored by NJ Build Construction Company. This is round 4 of the V8 series, and the guys are going to do a formation lap to settle themselves into their start grid. Is this correct?
No, I've just had to apologise. A couple of the guys are having problems gridding up. So it's a glitch in the track.
We're just doing a reset, guys. So we're at Symmons Plains this evening. This is a 2.41 kilometre or 1.5 mile track. A total of 7 corners. It is very technical. Turn 1 has a very large hump in the track before you enter the turn-in zone. Make sure you load the car up before you turn in. You slide the car back around to the left-hand side through turn 2 and then back to the right for turn 3. And it is the big run down to Brambles Hairpin. The braking zone into turn 4 is the start of sector 2. Come around through Brambles Hairpin and then down the big long curving back straight. And there's the apex on turn 5 that changes from sector 2 into sector 3. And then there's down a short little straight into the braking zone for turn 6, back into 4th gear, through turn 6, turn 7 back onto the main straight again.
Alright, cool.
Tahir, tell them about Entertainment Park.
Well, this place, it's like, it's...
My favourite place in the world!
The thing about this place is that
It's fun for all ages, no matter what your age. You'll love it.
what I really want to say about Entertainment Park is,
They have the best go-karts plus a great cafe. Games, bowling, simulation, but the go-karts, oh my God, they are so much fun.
look, thing is that this place is,
Perfect for my birthday party. Everyone said it was the best birthday party ever. Yeah!
what I really want to say about this place is,
Just say it!
it's a fully hectic, oh my God, venue.
Finally! Entertainmentpark.com.au. And as Tahir says, it's hectic.
And oh my God.
Okay, sorry about that. We had to reset the grid. Some tech issues with R Factor 2. But we're back underway as Baker gets the penalty, jump in the start. Sarkis got a jump and he's out in front. Scott Black right behind him. Bradley Martin. The boys are selling down back there. James Spotto, one of the worst ones out of that one with Jeff Wynn. So that's James Sarkis up front. Well, all sorts of things going on here, Tim. That's
very tight battle coming into the hairpin at turn 4, but the cars are starting to straighten out into a single file now. James Sarkis, starting from the back of the paddock, has had an absolute cracking jump here. Let's hope he can keep that together in the Fitness Plus Commodore. He didn't have a real successful race luck in race 1. Hopefully he's got his gear shift sorted out. A little bit of a lock there, a little bit unnervous looking in the car, squirreling around. He's not quite like a go-kart. These cars have a lot of compression lock and a lot of extra gears. It's a bit of a handful getting used to them when you're not familiar with the surrounds of a V8 supercar. You can see the mellow yellow car hard on the brakes here on this MH engineering car.
Mellow yellow in P2, that's the colours of Scott Black, Chandra from Indonesia from HM engineering team. He's got a quick jump, P5 there, Tokrev right behind him. Tokrev's got a bit of work to do, but Tim, it's 50 laps here. There's plenty to drive for and to just settle in, run your own race, and just, like you said before, just be there at the end. James Sarkis posting the fastest lap of the race with a 51.292.
Well, let's not rule out Vlad. Vlad was our winner from race 1 and commanding pace through the whole of race 1. We expect that he's going to make his way through this pack very, very shortly. You can see the cars bunch right up into the hairpin as everyone gets deep into it, down to first gear here. All about getting the traction down and out. The guys will clamber their way through the gearbox. They will be pulling 6 gear before they hit the apex here into turn 5. And then it will be bouncing off the rev limiter. As we can see, all the lights are red across the top of the wheel. Hard down on the brakes into 3rd gear. Some guys have actually chosen 4th through here. Down into 2nd now. Getting the traction down, back out onto the start-finish line, back up into 5th gear, and this is the nervous moment, getting the car settled to get over that hump into turn 1. With all the guys amazing to get through cleanly at the moment, coming through the first few laps, but it is a long race, 40 laps or 50 odd laps around here. Very, very technical. Not much of a rest, surprisingly, a couple of long straights either end of some very technical corners.
With Bradley Martin for the Martini Racing colours. Just dropping a spot back into P7, letting Pedro Gomez through, and here comes Craig Broadbent right behind him. We've got Brad Martin on our driver focus, or our driver cam in shot there. Just settling down, slow to come out of that corner. I think he was bogged by Gomez.
Broadbent took the advantage and slid up the inside there.
A lot of wheel work. You can see Bradley Martin driving from his home in Sydney. He's always got that race face on. I love the intensity but the calmness at the same time. The eyebrows are down, but no other muscle moves in that face. Go back live now.
I'm certainly not. I am not that relaxed driving a V8 supercar, mate. I'm hands and feet going everywhere.
I could imagine. They are, like you said, mate, there's a tough car to drive. We'll see what the tyre selection is of these guys as we go into James Sarkis.
Big lock up into there.
So Sarkis is black up the front on the hard, so that's an interesting choice. Go.
Sarkis is going to have the hards on. The amount of times you spend locking up those brakes, he's going to need all the tyre life he can get at the end of this 50 laps.
It's all backing up behind him now. And that's Chandra getting the jump on the soft tyres. He's got to tuck in.
Bouncing off the valves unit. He should have kept that door closed. He's opened the door up. That's allowed Chandra to come through. Scott Flack made the error there. He should have moved over to the left-hand side of the track, pushing Eric Chandra wide. That's the inside line is the preferred line into turn 6. And we can see now Eric's just moving away with comfort. Oh,
Red Bull getting early into turn 1. That was
very nervous.
The Lithuanian getting really loose there, and he's got race 1 winner right behind him as well. Up on the outside, he's trying to take the inside. They're both swirling side by side.
Blood goes for the crossback, but didn't quite work. Got a little bit loose. Lit the tyres up on the rear end, and that has put him back a little bit now, but he'll reset himself and go the next lap. He's not quite close enough to make a move here, but as we see, you need to be able to defend that inside line into turn 6. Any car gets down the inside of you, you just have to yield to them.
Look how busy the front straight is now. I can see at least 6 cars all together that come into turn 1. Very nicely indeed. Gomez going nice and tight as well. Slowing the car right up for that turn. The Fords handle the bumps a lot better. The Holden's a bit stiffer around here. And it's... We've got our lead out Chantry now. James Sarkis just falling back through the field.
I think Vlad just made an error there. Yes, he did. That put him on the outer. Now it's a race with Pedro down the back straight.
See what happened to Vlad coming into the hairpin there. We're on a replay. Oh, Pedro just come up the inside and forced him wide, so it was a 2-horse race. He's starting to run out of room, so he had to force his way back onto the tarmac. So we're back live now. Tokarev in P5. It's a great little battle, Tim, going on. These guys are quite quick at the moment.
They are all within a whisker of doing a sub 50-second lap here at the moment. Vlad again makes the big move around the outside.
Skena's really strong through that turn. Look at the work he got on Vlad right up the inside. Very settled under braking. 2 different manufacturers. That could be the answer. But now we've got the long sprint down. Maybe Askenis is on a different gear ratio. He's trying to defend the inside. Oh, that's Sarkis and...
Oh, that's the two. Both taking each other out at the front of the race there, back out into the grass.
Black involved again in that incident. Not saying it was him, but it's James coming in and
just
then
coming
going
together.
Across. Yeah, not the best. Flax settles into P7, Sarkis behind him in P8.
But that now moves Eric Chandra up into P1 with Vlad sitting right on the back.
Yeah, Vlad.
And
Askenis settling into P3, Gomez 4. Vlad must have made some gains there. He was a few positions back, but now he's in P2 already. Chandra driving away with 3.5 second gap. Oh, Gomez trying to come up the inside, but there's no room there as your nose is just going to get chopped off. As we saw Craig Broadbank come to fall victim to that twice with Chandra and Collins in the previous race 1.
Gomez looks to have better car control at the moment. It looks like Ascanis is struggling just a little bit in the Red Bull Commodore. So this is going to be a little great battle that goes on between these two drivers. And if you've joined us, you're watching the MJ Build Construction Company V8 series for SimHaus, broadcasting live from Entertainment Park. Guys, if you want to get involved or you've never driven a sim, get down to Entertainment Park, drop in and see Shane, who's commentating this evening. Say g'day. As we see the guys come together there, both guys going wide. And it looks like that
Gomez and Askenis. And that was a lock up from high. Look at Frederick Sarkis coming right up through the guts there. How did Askenis pull that car up? And now there's 3. That's not going to go. Something's going to happen. And Askenis doing well to recover that. I think we're going to replay once again.
All 3 drivers did well to survive that. I can't believe they got 3 cars wide through there.
Watch this again. Watch Askenis pulling it up nice and tight. Sarkis going wide and Gomez up the inside. It's pretty much like when McLaughlin rejoined at Bathurst when Wing Cup tried to yield. 3 cars just came together and it's just a hot mess, but they've resettled. And our championship leaders are now P1, 2 and 3. Those guys have got the rest of the race to sell that out as Frederick moves up into P4. And we've got Troy Cieslawski without a front nose there in P14 at the moment. He's got no front downforce. He won't be able to turn this car in. Doing his best for the Ned Whiskey entry.
That will be feeling absolutely horrible right about now.
Oh, the amount of push on that car. It's bad enough with a front spoiler, but without one, you've got no chance. And let's close that gap up to Eric Chan to the gap now, 1.37 seconds. And here comes Craig Broadbent, championship defender in P3. Go through the field now. Gomez in 5. I'm hearing some action news. Oh, that's Jaslowski again. Ludwig in 7. Scott Flack back up into P7 after that early incident. James Sarkis falling back into P8. James Spotto not so consistent tonight. I'm not too sure if he's loving this track at the moment in P9. David Baker served that penalty that he copped at the start there. Gordon Lee. Gordon Lee still in P11. Bradley Martin, P12. Jeff Wynn, 13. And Troy Jaslowski. Now he's in the pits. He's got a pit for that front splitter. And there it is. They've pit crews just replaced it and off he goes. Quick change for Troy Jaslowski. He'll rejoin P14.
He may have taken it. Well, he should have taken the option for fresh tyres there, but I don't think he was stationary long enough.
Doesn't look like it. It looks like we got the tail end of that, so I'm hoping he did get tyres because that could see him to the end of the race. But 35 laps is a big ask on these tyres. It looks like he's on the soft, the white banded tyre. Yes, he is.
He could be trying to make some hay here and get a few positions back. Riding on board with the Milwaukee car now. We've still got Eric Chandra out the front. And Vlad is hunting him down. There's only 1 second gap, and we can see the two cars in the shots there. Vlad's got a little bit of work to do to try and catch up to the back of Eric at the moment. And Craig Broadbent is also sitting off the back of this pack. And don't be too surprised if he soon pops up in amongst this mix too. We've got some very talented guys. Pedro Gomez and Ascanis are still at it, running in 5th and 6th at the moment, with Bradley Martin sitting back in 12th position. As we jump aboard the number 14 Boost bUILD.
I was going back to the Gordon Lee, Brad Martin, because they were within half a second of each other by the time we went there. And Baker in the pits again. Is he coming in for tyres? I'm not too sure. We have introduced damage for these guys to make it more interesting and more accountable for their driving. And that's really making a change to the quality of racing.
So we're looking at Gomez at the moment coming up onto the back of Frederick Sarkis.
This is our best battle on track at the moment, battle for 4th. As you said, Sarkis up the front.
Half a second the gap between these two. So Gomez has managed to pull a little bit away from Ascanis, but he's joined the battle in front of him now with getting onto the back of Sarkis. And Eric Chandra is doing a great job out the front to manage to keep that margin ahead of Vlad. And at the moment, I would like to be in the position where Gomez is. He's got a little bit of a slipstream sitting back behind Sarkis. He can take a couple of laps here and just settle himself down again. He can work out his line. He's probably going to cause me wrong and probably go for a big dive. But I'd be sitting back and just getting into a rhythm, getting my flow back, working out where the car's strong, where you've got advantage, seeing how this car in front of you is handling, look at whether it's twitchy or whether it's in a big dive down into the braking zone there. That's not what you want to be doing with damage on. That will give you a little bit of splitter damage. You may be finding that he's got a little bit of understeer now coming into some of these tighter corners. But if I was driving, I would be just sitting off the back here and getting into a rhythm. I wouldn't be doing anything too rash. I'd just be trying to burn some laps down, looking for where I could make a move and planning in around about 10 laps time, provided you don't have too many issues with someone catching on the back of you. And you see it's a difficult zone coming down into Sector 2 here. You've got to find that braking zone, get on the brakes without locking them up, try and get the car to dig into that little dip so that you get the front of the car to dig in and bite so it turns in the back. And if you get it right, there's a little bit of banking, you can get the good power down. And we should see a car sideways on the exit of the hairpin. And that is the Jeff Wynn, I think.
That was the Gordon Lee, same livery.
We've got two, Gordon Lee and Jeff Wynn both running in the same livery.
Yeah. Oh, that looked like Frederick Sarkis diving off into pit lane. It's a slow pit lane, and it takes almost the same time it does to do a full lap. So, you know, a lot of these drivers, while doing pit stops, are going to fall a lap down. But once the other guys do their pit stops, then that's gonna even out. But Frederick Sarkis in for tyres, as we can see the jacks going up. And here he joins me. Really quick stop there, about a 12-second stop.
Is there advantage of an undercut or overcut?
It really depends on track position and where the cars are at when you exit and rejoin, because you don't want to you want a clean track. You don't want to be coming out into someone else's battle, because if you're a lap down, you're not really meant to overtake. Oh,
that is a horrible moment through there. Looks like the cars came together.
Right, so this is, they were glued together from pit exit down the main straight. Frederick just went wide and pushed Czeslowski into the wall. Chandra just making his way through there, and that was a bit of Sarkis for line. He could have turned that turn 3 a bit tighter, given Czeslowski enough room outside. But
yeah, especially coming out of the pits on cold tyres. There was no tyre blankets for these cars. That would have understeered through there. He should have been a little bit more patient.
I've got Spotto and Sarkis. Spotto in the Red Bull car we're following, and he's got Frederick. Is it Frederick Sarkis? No, it's James Sarkis.
James Sarkis on the back.
Spotto's just followed him in there, and James has followed Spotto, I should say. So that's for position as well.
That's position 7 and 8.
They'll be falling down once these guys roll through the start-finish line, but that'll be, I really want their crew to give them the best pit stop they've ever done, because they've got the guy, look at him, stop right in the paint. Very good stop from James Sarkis there. There goes Spotto. So Spotto, pretty much exactly the way they came in. Great job from their crew. Oh, Sarkis. That'll be a pit lane
to come out in
entry,
traffic.
That's the two cousins coming together for BJR. That's the two Sarkises, Frederick and James there. Both driving at home on their full motion simulators for Racecraft in WA.
That will be discussed at a later date.
Well, they're right next to each other. I'm sure they'll be verbally discussing it right next to each other right now. We've got Frederick Sarkis and Brad Martin position in V8 and 9. This is the closest battle within a second of each other at the moment.
Brad looks like the car is a lot more connected this race. He was a little bit loose in race 1. But looking like he's a lot more comfortable in the car. But he's now got the battle going on as Sarkis now moves around the outside and gets the job done into turn 2. So now we've got Bradley separated by the two Sarkis cousins.
We've got the leaders, second and third. There we are, Tokarev and Broadband making their quick stop. Lap 24, that's just slightly an undercut, but these boys know how to manage these tyres very well, so they won't have any problem getting to the end there.
But Eric Chandra at the moment having the commanding drive at the front. He was actually pulling away from Vlad there before Vlad made that pit stop. So still got a bit of life in the tyres for Eric, so he can basically Oh, now is that Eric in
That's
the pits?
Chandra in the pits now, so that moves Gomez up in a P1, but he's yet to pit, I'm sure. Where's Chandra? Where's
So
Chandra's coming out.
Gomez, Ascanis, Chandra vacating the pits.
Tokarev coming across the start finish line. Where's Chandra? Chandra's just rolling out of pit lane now. Where's it going to end up? Oh, right next to each other, but Tokarev's going to get the better. Where is it? Scott Flack up in a P3.
Yeah, Scott Flack yet to pit. So we've got Gomez, Ascanis and Flack yet to pit. So our order at the moment, we've got Vlad, currently our leader on count back after pit stops. He's leading over Chandra, Broadbent, Spotto, Sarkis, Martin and Sarkis. So that three-way battle at the moment between Frederick, James and Bradley is probably going to heat up a little bit after that contact from Exeter pits.
See a bit of movement. Oh, who was that? That was James Sarkis coming in to serve his penalty, I think. Chandra doing all he can on the fresh tyres to reduce that deficit to Vlad.
But that's almost a reverse there. He was around about 1.5 seconds in front of Vlad before Vlad made his pit stop. So Vlad must have come across some lap traffic or something that slowed his lap, one of those laps down, because he's come out of the pits 1.5 seconds down. And we spoke about that earlier. The advantage of an overcut or undercut is subject to the amount of clear traffic or clear track you can get onto.
Yeah. We're watching our current leader yet to pit. Scott Flack in the mellow yellow with David Baker behind him. Baker in P10, still in the top 10 at the moment. Baker wants to get through. Baker's going to receive a blue flag. Although Baker's got fresh tyres, Flack's still battling the old set. It's not going to. Flack is not going to do much good on those old tyres, but he again he's a true champion. Just comes second in the opening round of the FSR F1 Championship in Europe. So he was leading most of the race in Formula 1 and then just did well to finish in P2. So he's back now. His last lap was a 51.7. Vlad was a 49.8. So he's losing 4 seconds in that last lap because I'm just changing to 53.2 from Scott Flack. So we want to see Flack come in and get his next set of tyres. He usually tries to battle on the old ones, thinking that's a good rhythm and he's got good track position, but not when he's losing 4 seconds a lap.
Yeah, you really need to stay within the 51-second bracket on this track to be competitive. Once you start to lose outside of that window, you need to start considering your options. And we are certainly well into the pit window now. It's successfully to say to come out on now, you would successfully get home on a set of soft tyres. But the guys have done 27 laps for the guys on the lead as the rest of the pack filter through. But at the moment, we've got Vlad Torikev leading this race. Obviously, Scott Flack yet to pit over Eric Chandra, and there's a 1.4 margin between those two drivers, with Craig Broadbent just sitting off a couple of seconds off the back of those two. We've got Pedro Gomez now has clear space over James Spotto. And then we've got Ascanis and Sarkis and Martin still battling it out at the moment in a three-way battle. They've managed to get a couple of seconds between each other, but they're still running in a three-way battle on track. And David Barker's got a little bit of space, but he is closing the gap onto the back of David Martin. And Jeff Wynn has got clear track at the moment, so he is losing some time, so he is yet to pit. He should be making that decision very shortly, with his last lap being a 54.3. And Jay Sarkis at the moment has dropped back, but he's a fresh set of tyres. His last lap was a 50.9. That's where you want to be at the moment. That's way up there with the leaders.
This is for the lead, Tim. This is Scott Flack and Vlad Tokarev. Oh, he just under pressure, locking up. The inertia of that car just pushed him into the wall.
But that has brought Chandra up onto the back now of Flack. And he's going to have to make his way through here to continue his attack onto the back of Torikev.
Now, if we watch the tyre telemetry, it's showing that Flack's on hard. So is Flacky trying to go the whole race on the hard compound and you know, throwing the dice to see where he ends up? Currently in P2 with 19 laps to go. Not too sure if he's going to make that to the end successfully.
His pace dropping off, he's dropping back into the 52.8, so very soon will be doing 53s on those set of tyres. And Chandra easy makes the pass up the inside in the braking zone. Gets the car turned around easily and will accelerate away down the back straight. Choice Jasaski having a lot of struggle in the V8 Supercar at the moment. We have a couple of warnings out at the moment. Bradley Martin is a DNF.
Yeah, we just saw the driver cam exiting. Hope he's okay. We know he's had some shoulder surgery recently and some niggling issues there, but that's not the case. The reason why he's pulled out.
Bradley Martin has a drive-through penalty for speeding in pit lane. So, and Sarkis is also, James Sarkis also received a drive-through for pit lane. And Jeff Wynn has one to clear at this stage.
He's in pit lane at the moment, just exiting.
That would be
like
clearing.
He's cleared his penalty there.
We still have Gordon Lee yet to pit and Scott Flack, the two drivers that are gambling at the moment. But surprisingly, Gordon Lee still running in the low 52s, so he's got good track pace for someone who has travelled 30 laps on that set of tyres.
Yeah, I think he's finally getting into a bit of a rhythm. Really limiting those mistakes and the little niggly mistakes each corner, so he's doing quite well.
Scott Flack has found a little bit of rhythm too after that little bit of impact with Torikev through the hairpin. He's back onto a 51.2, but our fastest lap of the race at the moment is actually the car in P4, Craig Broadbent, with a 49.6. And that's faster than Torikev's last lap was a 49.8, and at the moment they are the only two drivers in the 49s. I'm just looking at the margin, and Craig Broadbent has now closed right up onto the back of Scott Flack, so we'd expect that he'll be making a move soon, but he still has a little bit of work to do once he gets past Scott to make his way up to contend for the second place over Eric Chandra.
Just watching Jeff Wynn racing with us in Entertainment Park, one of our SimWorks V2 simulators, full motion with triple 43-inch screens. It's a lot of work. You can see the motion really throwing him around. He's trying to concentrate as these V8s are quite rough in the sim. It's shaking around, especially under brakes. Turn one, watch this. Nice work from Jeff there. And that's Gordon Lee right behind him in sim number 3. You can see on the back of the seat there. As we go to Gordon Lee on screen now. Just going around the hairpin.
And for anyone who has driven an indoor go-kart, these things feel like an indoor go-kart. Your kidneys, your ribs, your back, everything aches after climbing out of one of these cars.
Absolutely.
If you ever get the chance to do a hot lap in a V8 supercar, put it on your bucket list. It is one of those must things to do. There's plenty of opportunities around Australia. But if you can't and you want to feel the experience of driving it, get down to Entertainment Park, jump into the sim. Go live here at SimHaus. Come in and see Shane, he'll hook you up. Jump into a triple screen full motion rig and get the full experience of driving a V8 supercar.
The next best thing from actually hopping into the car, Tim. So well worth coming down and trying them out. You might want to get one yourself.
Absolutely.
These Sims are worth $50,000 each, so very expensive machines indeed. As we back on track for, looks like teammates battling it out for P7 and 8. No, that's 6 and 7. And every race, every round, we see these guys together on track. Both Red Bull liveries.
And we've got James Spotto at the moment sitting at the front of this two with Ludwig Askanis at the back in the two Red Bull. The two, both in the 97 cars. But if you haven't been sim racing, get down there and try it out. If you want to get involved in it, you don't need $50,000. I started with a G920 steering wheel clamped to a table with a set of pedals. I've now got a little bit more advanced in my rig, but I think the most expensive thing I've got is actually my PC out of all that.
And there's a lot of smarts going in there, and quite costly these days. The old PC, and some of these games require quite strong peripherals, high-performing peripherals as they go side by side into the hairpin. Spotto's still out front. Sarkis trying to go up. Askinas trying to go up the inside. Lithuanian.
The guys are doing a great job here. The attitude of the cars is quite stable. They've obviously still got some considerable tyre life here. They're just driving within their limits. They're not pushing the cars too hard. Spotto dives into the pits.
That's a late pit entry. Is that because he was on hard? Let's see, Spotto.
He's already had a pit stop. So this would be
12 laps to go.
Their lap times weren't too bad. I wouldn't imagine that would have been for tyre life, unless he's made a mistake. Yeah, I can't make that out.
We could be getting 20 laps out of the softs, which is really pushing these tyres, and he's just, decided to go, look, I'm just going to go with these soft tyres and I'm going to do an extra pit stop. It is a relatively short pit lane, but it's just a matter of going a lap down as you do it, because these guys do circle around almost the same time as going through the pit lane. It's about 40 kilometres an hour speed limit here at Symmons Plains.
And it feels like walking pace after 270 kilometres an hour down the back straight. But we have 3 cars now that have double pitted. So Troy Chizowski has done a 2-stopper. We've got David Baker on a 2-stop. And James Spotto has just come out after his 2nd stop. But we've still got Scott Flack on a single, he's on a no pit strategy at the moment. He still has sitting in 4th position. He's got 7-second margin over Gomez in 4th place. And he looks like...
Just to let the viewers know at home, Pedro Gomez is from Brazil. So we've got quite an international field here racing with us tonight. Gomez, first time racing with us, so I've just looked at his entry form, and it's all the way from Brazil, so we welcome all our Brazilian drivers in the audience. 10 laps remaining.
We just see Scott Flack allow for the Red Bull car to move up the inside there and get a lap back.
I think that was James Spotto just getting that lap back from Scott Flack, and Scott was like, go ahead, mate. We've only got 9 laps. Scott. Almost. But he's doing a fantastic job. This is the same set of tyres. He tries it every now and then. I know at Pukekohe last year, it got him a win. And really dominated. He's the one that always tries something else. If the whole field's going to go, I'm going to go soft with one pit stop, he's going to go, I'm going to go hard and not pit at all. And he's doing quite well. Tokarev, Chandra and Broadbent were probably always going to be in the top 3 anyway. So Flack's done well. And he's gained a lot of spots because he got caught up in earlier incident with, I think it was Frederick Sarkis, who is back in P7. I expected him to work his way back up a bit, but fair bit down there.
So the interesting point here, we've still got about 9 laps to run, and at the moment Gomez is 1 second a lap faster and only 2 seconds off
There
the
he
back.
is. We can see him right behind, 2.5 seconds.
So we're expecting the Gomez, and and he didn't want that because that would bring Gomez right up into the back door now. The advantage of the power out there. He should have turned over to the left and closed that door. He's just going to have to give up that position now. Gomez moves up into 4th place and Scott moves back. Scott is now going to have to deal with Ascanis, who is pulled up onto his back door now. And we'll see the fresh tyres of Gomez pull away.
We can see Flack just short shifting there, so he is struggling, sliding all over the place. He's looking at the lap counter going, okay, that's one less. I've only got 7 to go. He's got 12 seconds back to Ascanis, so let's see what the lap times are between the two and see if Ascanis is going to start catching.
It's moments like that that are going to cost him time.
Yeah, he gave away 4 seconds to Ascanis on that one lap, so times 6, that's 24 seconds. So Ascanis is definitely in the hunt to claim P5 from Scott Flack. As we see the two Penrights behind, they're getting excited because they're both together. Gordon Lee and
Yes, we
Jeff
did see
Wynn.
one. I think Jeff Wynn took a big chunk of curb coming through turn 6.
Yeah.
So he's dropped off the back of this pack, but Gordon Lee is still on the hunt here. He's got his fresh tyres after his pit stop. And we expect that he'll make the move within this next lap. But here is our race leader at the moment, doing a fantastic drive. Vlad Torikev led from start to finish in race 1, but he's had a fantastic strategy here in race 2. Coming from the reverse grid, he's worked his way through, took an early pit stop, and now holds a 2.5 second margin over Eric Chandra, sitting in 2nd place. But Craig Broadbent is still on the march, back in 3rd. But I don't think there's going to be enough time for him to make a challenge onto the back of Chandra.
That seems too much at this stage, 5 laps, but Chandra could make that one mistake and bring Broadbent into the fold for P2. Vlad's only 2 seconds ahead, so I mean, sorry,
Yeah.
Broadbent's 6 seconds behind Chandra.
So
Okay, so yeah, that's a lot.
Chandra, the fastest car on track that last lap, with both Vlad and Broadbent running in the 51s, and Eric Chandra in a 50.6. So he's looking like quite comfortable in 2nd place at the moment. Still got 1.7 seconds off the back of Turev. If he can grab a couple of fast laps, he could be in a position to make a move for the crown.
That'll be a clean sweep for Tokarev after he brings it home tonight. Making maximum points and earning himself $50 prize money.
Riding on board now with Craig Broadbent from the Race Tech Steel Mustang. He's sitting in 3rd place. He currently holds the fastest lap of the race, but he's a little bit off pace. But we just did see that Eric Chandra must have made a mistake that lap. He did drop almost 1.5 seconds to Craig Broadbent. So there's not quite played out yet. The guys will have to make sure that they hit their brake markers, get the car turned in, keep it clean, hit the apex, get the power on coming out of the corners. All about consistency and keeping it on the black stuff.
Yeah, well, we've seen Ascanis take P5 from Scott Flack. Scott Flack's hoping that lap counter breaks 3 laps time, but he's lost another position.
Yeah, his last lap was a 55.2. Those tyres are really hurting on that car, and that is affecting his lap times drastically. Just looking at the margins at the moment, he should be fairly safe in 6th position at the moment with only 4 laps remaining. James Spotto is still... well, James Spotto could be moving up onto the back. And we see James make the move down the inside.
That's Spotto up on the inside of Sarkis now.
Yep.
Great job from him. That's 1 extra point for him in the championship.
And Sarkis looks like she's struggling a little bit in the Mobile Commodore now with the older tyres. Doesn't look like it's quite got the grip. A little bit of understeer coming through 6th there. Turns it in early and hangs on to it, but can't get the traction down coming through 7. There's that little dip in the road I spoke about earlier. Got to get the car settled into there. Get it comfortable so you can get into the left to right section through turns 2 and 3. It's been a challenge for some of the guys to find that braking zone into the hairpin. But here we are with our race leader. Vlad Turikev at the moment's got a 3.7 margin over Eric Chandra in 2nd, and it's a further 13 seconds back to Craig Broadbent. As we see Vlad makes the move up the inside of the Penrite Commodore.
And Vlad bringing up the lap. Oh, Chandra right behind. It looks like that little...
He just closed that gap.
Hold up. We are on the last lap now, so he's got 1 lap to get it done.
He's close enough to see his competitor in front of him, but I don't think there's enough track for him to get it. Little lock up of the brakes and around the rear.
Too soon again, Tim. There it goes. Chandra's up in the lead.
Vlad turned it around and locked it up inside. I don't think he made contact with the Penrite car. I think he did it all by himself. But that has moved Chandra up into 1st place.
We'll just go to replay, see what happened. Oh no, the lap car coming too hot, just clipped Vlad on the last lap. And sorry, go back live. And Chandra's taken the win. How did that happen?
Almost nowhere.
I'm telling you, that's how it happened. That's Vlad in 2nd. Checkered flag, dominating the whole race until half a lap to go, and he gets caught up with a back marker. Broadbent brings it home in P3. Pedro doesn't want to leave anything left in Tasmania, so he leaves all the car parts all over the track at Symmons Plains as he crosses the line in P4. Ludwig coming around to finish P5.
And I believe Frederick Sarkis is coming through now. He will be taking position 6.
Yeah, Sarkis in 6. Spotto already across the line.
Yeah, it's a lap back.
Flag.
Yep. And then we roll through the order as David Baker, James Sarkis, Gordon Lee, Jeff Wynn, Troy Chazowski, and obviously Brad Martin unable to finish the race. But that was a very, very exciting race for the MJ Build Construction Company V8 series for SimHaus. The guys in the rigs, as we can see on the bottom of our screen, I can see on the bottom of my screen a couple of the guys just having a chat now. SimHaus having 8 full motion rigs in-house. They're at Entertainment Park. Get yourself down there, have a chat to Shane and try it out. But NJ Build Construction Company sponsoring the event this evening, putting on a fantastic show for everyone. We hope you enjoyed the stream.
Got the final results coming up now, the official results for you, Tim. Eric Chandra finishing in P1 ahead of Vlad Tokarev. Craig Broadbent nursing at home in P3 ahead of Pedro Gomez from Brazil in P4. Ludwig Askinas, our Lithuanian, bringing it home in the top 5. Frederick Sarkis Out of trouble later on in the race, manages to bring it home in P6 ahead of James Spotto, who had 2 pit stops. So great effort from him there. Scott Flack trying the no stopper, finishes in P8. And Scott Flack just ahead of David Baker in P9. James Sarkis, those couple of drive-throughs, unfortunately, coming through, finishes in P10 on his first outing with us. And P11 was Gordon Lee, and ahead of his teammate and personal mate Jeff Wynn. Troy Cieslawski in the 13, Bradley Martin finishing in 14, and we had Matt Collins, who unfortunately had some issues with his simulator due to the technical issues we had on track, and he had to retire early in P15. So that concludes the racing for tonight, but please tune in next week as, the next round of the V8s will be at Hidden Valley on the 14th of June. So we're going to go up to the Triple Crown up north for the Triple Crown. So make sure you tune in on the 14th of June for that one. Our next race will be the Champions League. We've only had one round, so the next one will be the NASCARs at Texas Speedway. So that's going to be an awesome race. It's going to be 90-minute oval racing, turning left. But it's not just about turning left, so make sure you tune in for that next week on the 24th of May. And then the next round of the British Touring Cars will be at Watkins Glen. And after last round, Tim, we're looking forward to that one at Watkins Glen. Once again, Tim, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your expert commentary. And hope you guys at home have enjoyed it as well.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
All right. Make sure you tune in for the next race. Get on the Discord links in our description down below. And if you like the track and the cars, we've got the download links on Steam. So make sure you click on those. And we'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night.